Coming up, West Nile virus has been found in Bridgewater. We'll have tips on how to prevent mosquito-borne illnesses. Police departments come together for a cup of lemonade to support a fallen officer.
They're coming up here because people up here want to give them good homes.
And finding a home for cats and dogs. We'll tell you about the group trying to find the right families for the right animals. These stories and more are coming up on the Bridgewater Review.
Bridgewater had its first positive West Nile test of the season on July 31st. Welcome to this edition of the program. I'm Scott Olson.
And I'm John Luck. Although West Nile was found here in town, Triple E has not been found as of this taping. Mary Evers has more on our top story this week.
On August 6th, the Massachusetts Department of Public Health released a statement warning residents that a West Nile virus had been discovered in the mosquito sampling that they took in Bridgewater on July 31st. As of now, no cases in people have been reported, which is not surprising as 80% of people who are infected never show symptoms. However, for the 20% that did show symptoms, they could include fever, headache, body aches, nausea, vomiting, and sometimes swollen lymph glands. They may also develop a skin rash on their chest, stomach, and back. Less than 1% of people infected develop a severe illness that would include encephalitis or meningitis. The symptoms of severe illness can include high fever, headache, neck stiffness, stupor, disorientation, coma, tremors, convulsions, muscle weakness, vision loss, numbness, and paralysis. The MDPH offers a list of ways to protect yourself from mosquitoes and therefore diseases carried by mosquitoes like West Nile is. These things can include scheduling outdoor activities to avoid the hours between dawn and dusk because these are the times that mosquitoes are most active, and making sure to wear bug repellent like DEET. They also say that it is helpful to wear long pants, shirts, and socks as much as the heat and the weather will allow. Along with protecting yourself, it is also important to protect your house by repairing any holes in your screens and keeping doors and windows firmly shut. It is also a good idea to remove areas of standing water from your property. For more information about West Nile virus and what you can do to protect yourself from it, you can follow the link on the screen and visit the Massachusetts Department of Public Health's website. For Bridgewater Review, I'm Mary Evers.
And as the summer rolls on, the mosquito population continues to rise. The Plymouth County Mosquito Control Project is taking requests for spraying. Residents can request their property to be sprayed up to 8 times. For more information, call the Plymouth County Mosquito Control Project at 781-585-5450. Or you can visit the town's website at bridgewaterma.org or visit plymouthmosquito.org.
Mitchell at the Middle is starting the school year with a new principal. Dennis Bray was hired after the former principal, Hattie Latender, took a job in Middleborough. Mr. Bray previously worked for the district as the principal of the Low Liberty Elementary School. During his 12 years there, he was known for his creative bets, once motivating students to raise $39,000 for school equipment. He held up his end of the bargain by spending the day on the school's roof. Again, Bray will join the Mitchell School at the start of the academic year.
Support continues to pour in for a fallen officer and resident of Weymouth. Here in Bridgewater, 2 youngsters raised over $1,000 in memory of Sergeant Michael Chestnut and Vera Adams.
And they did it in only 5 hours. Several police departments were among those to visit Lily Sinopoli and Sophia Umbro's lemonade stand on July 24th. The 2 girls received patches from the officers and were given the opportunity to sit in the police vehicles and honk their horns.
Certainly another reminder that a simple gesture can certainly make a big impact.
Absolutely, and there's another fundraiser in the works. The Bridgewater Men's Softball League is hosting a tournament to raise funds for Sergeant Chestnut's family. It will take place on August 11th at the Prospect Street Field. Emma's Pizza, Noonan Waste Management, and Jim's Auto will be among the area businesses representing the teams. We'll have a recap on that coming up on Bridgewater Now.
August 4th marked a special day for animal lovers. Bridgewater Credit Union hosted their first Wags and Wiffles event. The result of a partnership with the Nebraska Orphan Animal Haven and the Last Hope K9 Rescue.
There's many dogs, many rescues, shelters. Our dogs come up from Arkansas, other dogs are coming from Puerto Rico, and they're coming up here because people up here want to give them good homes. So we urge everyone who's in the wanting to adopt, wanting a dog or a cat, to go to a local shelter or contact a rescue organization and avoid going to pet stores because that just helps us rescue dogs that are really in need and not perpetuate the increase in dogs that are coming from not spaying and not neutering and legitimately puppy mills. Last Hope K9 is a rescue organization for all breeds, all age dogs. We get most of our dogs, about 99% of them, from Arkansas. They are strays and shelter dogs from Arkansas. We have fosters down south who take them out of the shelter, make sure they're healthy, get them to the vet, get them, we call it vetted, get them spayed or neutered, get their vaccines up to date, start them on heartworm preventatives, and they stay in those homes for a couple of weeks, make sure they're healthy enough for transport. They transport all the way up from Arkansas. They go into a quarantine facility in compliance with Massachusetts law for 48 hours, make sure they didn't pick up anything on the way. They get another vet check, another health certificate, and then they go to foster homes here in Massachusetts and a couple in Rhode Island. And we have adoption events every weekend. And once a month we have a big adoption event. They can go to our Facebook page, that's the most updated information. So you just search Last Hope Canine, and it's K9, not C-A-N-I-N. And on our Facebook page, we have the albums for each dog. They have their own photo album, gives a little bit of information about them and some adorable pictures. We also have an events page, which tells you where we're going to be every weekend. And a few days before the event, we'll tell you which dogs are coming. And again, you can always email us. All of our information is on the website.
For the third consecutive year, Bridgewater State University was selected by the U.S. Department of State as a partner with the Mandela Washington Fellowship. The campus hosted 25 of Africa's brightest emerging public management leaders for 6 weeks.
And they sure were busy. Scholars arrived in mid-June and they had a full schedule here in town. There are academic, cultural, and professional experiences at Bridgewater State University and around the community. The group also took part in the 4th of July parade here in Bridgewater.
They also took part in the very popular Dress a Girl initiative. Hundreds of dresses have already been made for girls around the world, and the scholars joined in on the effort, bringing many of the dresses back home to deliver to girls in impoverished areas. 15 students that recently visited from Cambodia also assisted in assembling, sewing, and cutting fabric for the dresses.
In our next report, Alicia Fortin tells us more about the program, including how a trip to the library wound up becoming an opportunity to help girls around the world.
It looks like a sewing bee of days gone by, full of hope for the future. A future where every girl owns something as simple as her own dress.
It's amazing how word spreads from one to another, and that's what our hope is. When a woman comes in and learns how to make a dress, she will then go home and make 4 or 5 more.
The campaign is called Dress a Girl, run through the international organization Hope for Women. Its presence in Bridgewater is due largely to these 4 women: Evelyn DeLutis, Sue Ladd, Gail McCarthy, and Gloria Moran.
I walked into the West Bridgewater Library one day to pick up a book, and there were 2 dresses hanging there. As a lover of sewing and fabric, I had to go over and touch and look. And then I asked the librarian about the project.
Gail is the librarian Evelyn talked to.
My sister and I had both retired around the same time, and we both loved to sew. We have little girls that never had to want for a dress, and we saw all these little girls in need around the world.
Workshops are now popping up all over Bridgewater, from the United Methodist Church to the Cole Yeaton Senior Center.
People that don't sew, there's plenty for them to do as well. We have ironing, cutting, measuring, bagging the dresses, making the pockets, just coming for moral support. Every time I finish a dress, I sing "You Are My Sunshine" to it, and some women like to pray over the dresses and send good wishes that way. So even if you just come and sing about our dresses and just send that love through the dress to the little girl, we know she's going to feel it.
And if you want to learn to sew, Gail offers simple sewing lessons at the West Bridgewater Library on Tuesdays.
Aren't they the cutest?
The finished dresses come in all shapes and sizes, colors, and fabrics, though one detail remains the same: this label of love.
And it's been found that little girls wearing these dresses are not subject to predators.
We've got to protect these little girls, even if it's one at a time. That's what we're going to do.
The dresses are then hand-delivered to girls in need.
This precious little girl right here is from Haiti, and this is my cousin's wife, and he and his wife went to Haiti on a mission. They're chiropractors, and she brought down dresses for the little girls, and this just happens to be one of the ones that I made.
Donations are pouring in from the community, some with their own touching stories.
It's been really great to see other people come in. We had this gentleman, Pappy, whose wife sewed and passed away 3 years ago, and he could not go downstairs where her sewing machine and all her fabric was.
But when he saw the article, he said he knew that's what she would want him to be doing. And he brought a whole roll of this fabric, along with lace, an eyelet, and his wife's sewing machine.
Bridgewater State University has donated a grant to pay for new sewing machines and towards student involvement.
There was a program at the elementary school for the 5th graders, and they had never sewed before. And they took a t-shirt, put a skirt on, we assembled and put the labels on, but there were kids that had never sewed in their life before, and they did a great job. We got 13 dresses from them.
And there's a lot of love that goes into the making of these dresses as well. So we think about the little girls who are going to be the recipients of these and probably have never had a new dress, perhaps, in their life.
Thank you, Alicia. The next Dress a Girl event will be held at the Senior Center on August 17th from 9:30 to 12:30. For more information on Dress a Girl Around the World, visit their website at dressagirlaroundtheworld.com. When we return, transitioning from summer to the academic year, we have tips to get you ready to go back to school.
We'll also check in on the upcoming performances at Music Alley. We'll be right back.
How long have we been married there?
For 76 years.
He was kind and generous to me before we married, and he was kind and generous to me all these years that we have been married. We decided on Meals on Wheels because at my age, I was getting to the point where I couldn't do all the things that I had been able to do.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Summer is flying by, so sorry kids, but a new school year is just around the corner. For parents, we do have some good news for you, as there are some steps that can help ease the transition from summer to school. Dr. Kim Giuliano says that weaning kids off of screens is a good place to start.
So it is really important in order for your child to have a smart, high-functioning, and less emotional brain at the beginning of the school year to think about starting to get back to some of those healthier electronic habits now.
Dr. Giuliano suggests limiting screen time to 20 or 30-minute increments throughout the day. Adjusting sleep schedules prior to the first day of school is important as well.
If we've fallen into some summer sleeping habits that don't coincide with what we want our school schedule to be, it's good to start trying a few weeks in advance by just putting the child to bed 10 to 15 minutes earlier. Do that for a couple of nights, and then once that's a little bit easier, then another 10 to 15 minutes earlier, and so on and so forth.
It's common for kids to be nervous about going back to school. Dr. Giuliano recommends talking to children about fears and reassuring them. A trip to the school may be helpful too.
Some schools will let you come visit, so if that's an opportunity, wonderful. Other school buildings aren't necessarily open in the summertime, but even just parking in the parking lot and walking up to the door, looking around the school premise could help a child to feel a little bit more comfortable.
Dr. Giuliano says practicing a child's morning routine about a week before school starts can help ease jitters, but she does warn that practicing too far in advance can lead to additional apprehension. Dr. Giuliano adds that children may be required to provide up-to-date vaccine records when enrolling in a new school. So if your child has not had vaccines in a few years, it's a good idea to check and make sure they're up to date.
You certainly sounded very remorseful for kids having to go back to school there, John.
I remember I always used to feel sad the last couple weeks of August just because I knew that I'd be waking up at 5:30 every morning. Now I'm ready to go at my age.
Because you go wake up at 5:30 in the morning every day. You just kind of get used to it.
Yeah. There you go, kids. Got something to look forward to.
Another successful summer is coming to an end for Bridgewater Summer Rec Camp. For the past couple of months, campers enjoyed the outdoors, arts and crafts, and went on tours around town.
BTV was fortunate to host the group in July, showing them the equipment we use every day and getting a full report on their summer with the program.
So far in summer program, we have had some water days. We've also walked down to the town hall and voted for a type of ice cream and acted like presidents. Camp Rec is so fun. Upcoming events include the Bridgewater K9 dog demonstration, tie-dye, fire department visit, Olympic Day, and baby animals. We play sports, do crafts, play games, and stay cool.
The Summer of Music continues with acts not only in Music Alley, but in 2 locations. Nick Sylvia has more.
Thanks, guys. Last Thursday night, Bridgewater residents were treated with not 1, but 2 musical performances. The first one took place in the area itself, where the band Retrobates played around the corner at First Parish Church. Piano players Furlong and Heather Wengart performed. Both performances brought audience out to enjoy their music. Be sure to head out to see the other Music Alley performances next Thursday at Jamie Lapine and the Cameron Shave, the Revel Jazz Band. August 23rd is in Spirit. August 30th is in Sparrow Blue and Paul Horton. Finally, September 6th is the Male Bonding Band and the Boxwood Saxophone Quartet. For Bridgewater Review, I'm Nick Sylvia.
Good Samaritan Medical Center presented a check to Make-A-Wish in Massachusetts and Rhode Island on July 17th. The Medical Center in Brockton raised $8,000, which is the average cost to grant one wish. Harrison Bain, as president of Good Samaritan, says, "As caregivers, we know all too well the impact an illness can have on a family and the importance of finding joy and celebration to help the healing process. There are still events being planned to help commemorate the hospital's 50th anniversary, and if you'd like to see what's coming up, you can visit GoodSamaritanMedical.org.
Looking at your health this week, and while the heat and humidity can make us feel at least a bit uncomfortable, to say the least, it may be downright dangerous for seniors.
Dr. Ronan Factora works at the Cleveland Clinic and says that people 65 years and older are more susceptible to heat-related problems for multiple reasons.
When you get older, you don't have as much total body water, so it's a lot easier for you to get dehydrated. And it's a lot more difficult when you're older to regulate your body temperature because of problems with insulation, the way that your body actually controls the blood vessels to get rid of extra heat, and that's just a normal aging process.
Dr. Factora recommends paying attention to the weather, especially the relative humidity and dew point, which can make the air very difficult to breathe. He also says it's important for older people to pay attention to the forecast when the dew points and temperatures are high because sweating won't cool the body as well. Seniors should drink plenty of water, the recommendation being 8-ounce glasses of water up to 8 times a day. And this is a good suggestion for everybody during this warm, sticky weather. Wear loose-fitting clothing, lightweight clothing, and a hat. And if you can't handle the heat and humidity, avoid extended time outdoors during the middle of the day. During a heat wave, air conditioning is recommended when resting indoors. Dr. Factora reminds us that it's important to keep tabs on seniors.
Be attentive to neighbors and family members who are older, who do spend a lot of time outdoors. So just make sure that they're doing okay, check up on them, make sure they're drinking, and that way you can make sure that you can enjoy the time outside, but just enjoy it in a safer fashion.
Certain medical conditions and some medications can make some folks even more susceptible to heat-related illnesses. So it's important to be aware of those risk factors. If you become concerned about family or friends who seem lethargic, sleepy, or confused after spending time in the heat, take them to the doctors immediately.
In today's tech, streaming services provide us with hours of entertainment from Hulu to Netflix. Now a new service called New TV hopes to take that type of programming and break it up into shorter videos designed specifically for mobile viewing. Think original series like Netflix, but each episode is only 10 minutes long. The venture includes Jeff Katzenberg, a former chairman of Disney, Hewlett-Packard CEO Meg Whitman, Disney Alibaba Technical Group, and NBC Universal. The group intends to use 5G technology to stream its programming. New TV is expected to launch by Christmas of 2019.
Just in time for all those Black Friday deals, get some mobile devices going.
That's right, assuming we're still using mobile devices by that point.
Who knows?
Who knows?
But coming up in sports, playoff season is here for the Brockton Rocks. Brian Barr's going to tell us how the team's looking next.
They'll test you, try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it?
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got? Or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, baby.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
If the Brockton Rocks wanted any chance of hosting a playoff game this year, they would need to win against the second-place Worcester Bravehearts on August 1st. And BTV had the opportunity to broadcast the game in which Paul Prue pitched a masterful game going 6 innings, allowing just 4 hits, 1 run with 2 strikeouts, and picking up the win. This wasn't an easy game for the Rocks. Since we last covered them back in June against the same Worcester Bravehearts team, the Bravehearts went on a tear going 21-6 during that time span, which got them into second place, while the Rocks went 12-16 in that same time period. The game was tied 1-1 heading into the bottom of the 5th inning, and Barry University sophomore Richie Solbavaro broke the game wide open with a grand slam that cleared everything and left Campanelli Stadium, giving the Rocks a 5-1 lead. And that's all they would need, as they would get the win by the same score. Now, fast-forwarding to the playoffs, the top 6 teams advance to the FCBL playoffs, with the top 2 seeds getting a bye. The 3 through 6 seeds play a 1-game play-in game to get to the best-of-3 semifinal series. The Rocks hosted the Nashua Silver Knights at Campanelli Stadium and won that game 6-5, which set up a best-of-3 matchup with the top-seeded Martha's Vineyard Sharks. The Rocks took Game 1 of the series 7-5 on the road in the Shark Tank, and all the Rocks had to do was win another home playoff game to reach the FCBL Championship Series. Unfortunately for the Rocks, they lost their next 2 games 3-2 and then 5-0. This year's FCBL Championship Series will be the second-seeded Worcester Bravehearts and the top-seeded Martha's Vineyard Sharks. And we'll continue our fall sports preview. This time we'll be looking ahead to the Bridgewater Rainham football team. They finished with an overall 10-2 record last year and lost to King Philip in the South Sectional Finals for the second straight season. This Trojans team must now look to replace quarterback Corey Sullivan, who went on to Assumption, and fullback and linebacker Bryce Shaw, who went on to the Naval Academy. BTV plans to cover all home games this year, playoff games, and the annual Cape Cod Cafe Cup at Marciano Stadium on Thanksgiving Day. The Trojans will start their season at home on September 7th versus Duxbury. That's all for sports. Scott and John, back to you.
Thanks, Brian. Town officials are looking for your input. Bridgewater has contracted with Great Blue Research to conduct a planning survey this August. This will be an opportunity for the public to help guide officials in addressing the needs and goals of the community. Residents will be contacted by phone, and you'll notice your caller ID will show Great Blue or the number 860-740-4000. The last number may vary, and the surveys are anonymous. If you'd like more information, you can call Great Blue Research at 860-740-4000.
The state primary is coming up on September 4th, but you can vote via absentee ballot at the town clerk's office until August 31st. If you'd like to register for the state primary, you have until August 15th. Voter registration is taking place until August 15th from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. at the Academy building. Absentee voting will take place Monday through Thursday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Friday 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. The deadline is 5 p.m. on August 31st.
Black Cat Brew Works will hold the 3rd annual South Shore Farmers Brewfest on October 7th in Scotland Yard here in town. Advance tickets are $40 and $45 for the day of. VIP tickets are $90, which includes early access to the event. Over 20 breweries will be in attendance, and food vendors will be at the event as well. All the proceeds from the event will benefit the Bridge Center and local charities chosen by Bridgewater Police and Fire.
The Water Department has initiated a mandatory program to upgrade all town water meters to a cellular read meter reading system. Residential water meters are in the process of being replaced by a third-party vendor, Mass Installation Inc. Notices will be sent to all residents to schedule appointments when the company reaches your section of town. Please call the 800 number on the notice to schedule an appointment. If you do not respond, the company may go door to door to attempt to schedule an appointment. That's all the time we have on this edition of the Bridgewater Review.
We hope you'll join us for our next episode of the program. You can stay up to date with the news and weather around town at btvaccess.com and on our Facebook page. For now, I'm Scott Olson.
I'm John Muth. Thanks for watching.